Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Volusia Flagler Cares. It's our weekly thank you and shout out to all of the nonprofit groups in our local area for the fundraisers and the events that they do, on an annual, weekly, and monthly basis. My co-host is Chris DeWind from the Flagler County Buzz. And, welcome, Chris. We're glad you're here.
Yes, thank you.
So we started this thing and we had hoped that we were going to get some interesting guests. And we have just been so fortunate, so blessed to have not only great charities, but the people that run them and the people that, obviously are the administrators and make sure that things run smoothly. But it's a continual job. It's a thankless job, and it never ends. But with us today, our first guest is Abby Ferguson. And Abby is the executive director of the Chiles Academy, which is a charter school for pregnant teens. Okay, you know what? I'm going to let you go ahead, Abby, because there's so much cool stuff that you can get for us, and I don't want to hold you back. So give us, the rundown on kind of how it got started, and where you are, and then if there's any future plans you might have.
Great. Thanks, Kelly. Thanks for having me on. It's an honor to be here and to talk about the work we do here at the Chiles Academy. I'm always happy to speak about the amazing students we have and the children that we serve every day. So, like you said, we are a public charter school. We're a Volusia County school open to any Volusia County student who is currently pregnant or parenting while trying to get their diploma. So I serve grades 6 through 12. And I serve not only the students who are parenting and working really, really hard on their diploma, but I also serve their children. So I have a childcare center on campus so the students can come and bring their children, and their children can be learning in one room while they're upstairs learning and finishing their algebra and their English and all of their state aligned standards that they need, just like any other high school student can. So we have been around for over 20 years. This is our 23rd year as a charter school. It's a little bit of a family business for me. So my mom was a co-founder of the charter school in 2002. Her background in early education brought her to this work, and along with other educators, a math teacher and a parenting teacher who were just really passionate about making sure that these young parents have an opportunity, right, to finish the thing that they started, and they can start their lives and have all of the opportunities afforded to them as any other high school student. So that passion led them to create a public charter school. And then in 2008, they were able to move into the old historic Bonner Elementary building. Are you familiar with where we are in Midtown?
Yeah, and a huge location. Man, that's a big space.
It's a great site, and we're really honored to be here. It's a historic site. The standing building was built in 1926. It was added on into the 50s. It spans Midtown Daytona. It's a large kind of elementary campus. And it was decommissioned by Volusia County Schools and set aside in 2007, 2008. And a charter school, charter law dictates that a charter school without a brick and mortar home can raise their hand and say, we'd like to take that school if it's not being used, please. So we were fortunate enough to move in 2008, and we've been here ever since. And we've been stewards of the building, and we got to expand our program into community childcare because of all the room that we have. And so now we serve 80 families in the community that are not associated with the teen parent program. So I'm one of the largest childcare providers in Volusia County schools, in Volusia County. And communities can come and enjoy our amazing childcare center, our early learning focus, our family focus, even if they're not or don't have a daughter or don't have a student here. So we try to be as inclusive as possible.
Well, sometimes economy of scale ends up helping you, if you start ordering stuff or whatever, and it's done on a bulk, you end up almost netting out at zero, but you're able to help, another 30% more. So,
exactly.
But I wanted to talk a little bit because I was guilty of when I heard the words pregnant teen moms and having, all of these resources for them. I was like, what? Are we rewarding people for wrong decisions? And then you and Cheryl got me out there, and
Mhm.
I got to say, after that, well, my partner and I, we're out there all the time bringing in
Yeah,
strollers and high chairs and anything else
yeah.
that we can, because we know how important it is and how grateful the young ladies are.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah. Yeah, and thanks for bringing that up, Kelly. So it's a common misconception, right? That a teen pregnancy is a disaster, and it's the end of a student's kind of the end of the line, and it's a stigmatized problem. There's a lot of stigma that comes with it. And in no way are we promoting or recruiting or hoping that any of our Volusia County students get pregnant that are on track to finish. But it is a reality, right? It's a reality of our
yeah,
lives. It's a reality of just being part of a society. There's going to be some of us that start a little sooner, or that make mistakes. And so
yeah,
we're in the business of making sure that the mistakes that are made in your teenage years don't end up becoming a life sentence, right? So we're all about bringing students in where they are, meeting them with what they come with, right? Because I always like to say that teen pregnancy doesn't happen in a vacuum. There's usually lots of indicators, right? There's lots of
Hmm.
opportunities along the path that kind of brought that student to where she is. And so meeting them there without shame and without judgment, and just with compassion and readiness to put them on the path that they wanted to be on and put them on a path for success. That's kind of the secret sauce of the Child's Academy, is the compassionate care model, that
well,
we
I
can
got to
really
tell you
bring
though,
them in and make
I
sure
got
that
to
they're
tell you,
on the
I
path.
I saw some of the requirements, and it's not a free ride. Let's skate through this thing. They
Yeah.
have some major demands on them, not just academic.
That's right. That's right. So we do all of the work holistically that we need to do to get a student ready for success. And what are we always trying to do as educators? We're trying to get them through high school and make sure that they're ready for a job placement, right? So you
Right.
need to know what your behavior expectations are. You need to know what a job is going to ask you, how to get along with your coworkers, how to interact with other people. So we teach all of those skills here to make sure that they have all of those tools for success. And
Right.
we have all the same standards as any other high school. We follow the Florida standards. So there's a lot asked of them, plus they're raising children.
Well, Abby, I, again, I was really glad that you got me educated on what happens there, and I'm really glad that we're able to keep you in mind. Cheryl knows we just came out there a couple weeks ago
Yeah.
with some stuff, uh, but you guys have what are like the standards that you require from your students?
Well, so in order for them to get a diploma, they need to pass all the classes that they would pass at any other high school. So they're passing their algebra, they're passing their English. We also require a set of behavior expectations and standards, right? How to treat people with respect, how to be responsible for the energy you bring to the classwork, to exist in a community. So this day and age in 2025, we're all focused on our technology and our phones, and we're losing the skill of how to be in community. So when a student gets here and she gets here ready to learn and ready to be a parent, what we're
Right,
doing is we're meeting her right there and making sure that she knows how to function in a school setting where she might not know all the students when she gets here. But when she leaves here, she leaves as a community member, a strong member of a team that is for her and about her, and a team she can give back to too.
And that's really awesome.
yeah.
Can you share maybe some of the more challenging aspects of working with all of these girls? And, I was a really young mom when I first started, so I know how challenging it can be when you're thrown into that role of motherhood at
Yeah.
a really, really young age when,
Yeah.
you're just getting out of being a child and you have that. So can you share some of the challenging aspects that you deal with on a regular basis with the
Sure,
Child's
sure.
Academy?
Yeah. And I think I'm going to answer that in two ways. One, just structurally, kind of from the view from 30,000 feet. So, like I said, teen pregnancy doesn't happen on its own, right? So a lot of times it's coming with academic gaps. Maybe the student has been in and out of school. Truancy was an issue. Attendance was an issue. There's behavior issues. There's a lot of like 90% of my students come with a set of referrals from other schools, right? For
Right.
bullying, violence, any sort of fighting. So they're coming in with a mindset of defensiveness and that they're not going to fit and it's not going to work for them. Plus,
Mhm.
they have academic gaps that they need to make up in a setting like ours. So from a principal perspective, we have to get that student acclimated to our environment right away. And we have to kind of, through our compassionate care model, let her learn on her own pace, but also understand that this is going to require something deeper of you. The average high school student is not asked to go into her emotions every Thursday and talk deeply about experiences that have shaped her. But we do that
Exactly.
here in our sharing circle and our parenting circle. So it's just a little bit of a mindset change for them. So those are some challenges that I would say as a principal, it's like we're a little bit like from left field when they get here. They kind of don't understand what the system is like, but really quickly they adapt to it. And I just want to speak to the challenges that our students face. So right now I have about, I'd say 58 to 60% of our students are being touched by homelessness in some way, meaning that they're actually considered homeless by the district or they're housing
Right.
insecure. We have students
Mhm.
who are experiencing food insecurity on a regular basis. We have students who are moving from house to house, from neighborhood to neighborhood because they don't have
Yeah.
secure income. So there's a lot of family struggle. There's a lot of societal issues that they're facing every single day.
Sure.
So
Mhm.
coming in from with those struggles and then trying to sit down and really focus on what they might need to do in their algebra class or what they might need to do in geometry or trying on the standards that the regular high schools are asking them, that's
Yep.
a big ask. And then also on top of that, they're dealing with pregnancy or they're dealing with infancy, they're dealing with infants that don't sleep, they're dealing with toddlers that don't listen. Right? So
Oh
those of us
yeah.
that are parents know how challenging that can be when all of your basic needs are being met. So we understand that a 17-year-old without any of those basic needs being met, and also on top of that, asking them to be strong parents, that is a steep wall to climb. So we want to make sure that we give them as many supports as we can.
It really is. It is very hard to be in that position as a young child and being responsible for a child while you're
Well,
still
yeah,
trying to
all
do
of
all
that,
of that.
Absolutely.
and you're just a bundle of hormones going crazy. I
Oh,
mean,
yep.
especially if you haven't had the baby.
It's true.
Yep.
But when people, well, you guys have several different programs that go on throughout the year. But you don't, I went to your website and there wasn't anything that was like a specific way that somebody could donate to a specific thing.
Yeah.
Uh, if you want, I will go ahead and we can put that donation link up, while we're doing this,
Yes, please.
and people could, go directly to it. But what's the future hold, and what are you trying to get some money in for?
That's a great question. And we would appreciate any support from any community members who are hearing my voice right now, any community members who have any interest at
We'll do
all,
our best, Abby.
yeah, in this work. We open our doors and we welcome all hands. So this is really a situation where I like to tell people that teen pregnancy and our situation, our school really is the nexus of a lot of the larger societal issues, right? So our students are experiencing a lot of the things that any given family in poverty would experience. So we need everything. We need diapers, we need wipes, we need baby clothes, we need gently used baby items, and we take donations from that area. But we also need, and Kelly, I appreciate your question about the future. We need a security to offer our students that we will be here for them, right? So we
Right.
will make sure our doors stay open. We will make sure that we are state funded and committed to that public school commitment, right? So we're a charter school. A lot of people think that charters are private. We are a charter school, so we're publicly funded. And we want to make sure that our state government understands the work we do here and the value that
Well,
it brings to these lives.
it's huge. Again, so you've got homelessness,
Yep.
you have raging hormones, and then on top of that, you've got the insecurity of, will the class that I'm attending, will you guys be here next year?
Right.
And with
Right.
all of the changes in education and the funding cuts, uh, it's pretty hard to start throwing out some guarantees.
Right. And and in our population with our students, those guarantees are so important. They want to know can we trust you? Can we dig in here? Can you be here for us? Because they've experienced a lot of disappointments and a lot of needs that should have been met when they were children just weren't. And so we often come in with a compassionate a stance, and they don't believe us at first. And we
Right.
have to kind of prove, right? We have to prove that we're trustworthy and that we're here for them. But once we do, then they're open arms, they're all in. And, we have any given May, we'll have 15 to 25 graduates across our stage, successful young women who have completed their schoolwork, who have passed their tests, and who are ready to take on the world. And we need to be here in order to do
Yep.
that, right? We need to make sure that this work stays alive and it stays thriving, because the needs are only going to get greater, right? So as we see all
Yeah.
of the
Not
shifts
going
happening
away.
in the markets and the shifts happening in the social safety net, right? We know the needs are going to be there. We know that to be true. So we want to ask ourselves as community members, who are we when we face such a great need? Are we standing with these folks? Are we standing for them? And if so, then that's where we give.
Well, I remember a year ago, I think it was Jamie Dickey, the president of the Daytona Beach Kiwanis Club. She actually like put your entire prom together last year. It was, and then I went with Larry McDermott, another Kiwanian, and I got to tell you, anybody watching, it's a ceremony that, it's over the top. Not only that, but there is not a dry eye. I mean, I'm starting to get emotional now just thinking about how you just feel so good for what they were able to accomplish and overcome.
And speaking of the accomplishments, really quickly, can you just share with all of us? I mean, obviously, you said you've been here for a really long time. You've been helping out with a lot of these girls for years and years. Can you share a story about one of the girls that impacted you the most?
That's such a good question. There have been, I've been kind of tangentially aware of the Chiles Academy since I was a high school student, right? Because my mom was the co-founder, and I used to do my volunteer hours, like rocking babies in the nursery. So I've been connected to this program for a long time, and the stories have just kept coming, and some of them will land hard, and some of them will inspire you. I'm thinking of one from an early days of the program. We had one of the youngest mothers that we've ever served, and I believe she was 13 or 14 at the time of pregnancy. And she got just swept up into the program right away. She was nurtured through all of her classes and ended up being a graduate and successful. And she's currently an area realtor. She gives back to the program all the time. She's at least 20 years out of the program, and she's one of our best donors and an ambassador of the program. So she's a really good example of how, one mistake, one tragedy, right? Something that can be shaded in tragedy can be turned from trauma into a success story. And there are countless stories like that. We have students who have overcome so much, who have never had a stable place to live and end up crossing our stage as, one of our highest GPAs. And it really is remarkable.
Worse, I've, some of those stories are, oh, you're pregnant, get out of the house.
Right.
And for these girls, in spite of that, to still make the choice of, I want to have a life and I need to get my high school diploma, man, again, it catches me right here every time.
It is. And I just want to return back, because I know that we're running out of time, but I want to return back, Kelly, to that original point about the stigma and the misconception. So we just had a visitor to campus yesterday who is interested in focusing on the stories here, right? On the story of this program. And she said, as a mother in her 30s, she took away at least 3 or 4 things that the students were saying about their journey in motherhood. And she said, I'm just blown away by their resilience. I'm blown away by their thoughtful approach to parenting. And so she was, as a community member, learning in circle with our parenting students who are 17, who are 20, who are 15, right? And they're all women learning together on how to mother and what being a mother is. So that's one of our values, is that it doesn't matter what age you are. If once you approach this parenting kind of pinnacle that we get to as humans, that the experiences are really universal. So every mother deserves to feel joy. Every mother deserves to feel proud. And so we stand with mothers no matter what.
That's awesome.
We do too.
Yeah.
And I got to, I'm so glad that we were able to get you in, and we'll have that link so that everybody can get and to donate. And if you can, you have some new bags of diapers, everything that you could think of for kids. It'll be helpful to them, and we really appreciate it. We appreciate all you and your entire team do. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Kelly. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for having me.
Thank
you.
Okay, well, and Charlene, you have been so patient. I really appreciate it, but you could hear, I mean, it's a special nonprofit group, and I wanted to kind of give Abby a little bit of time. But everybody with us today is the treat. We have Charlene Greer, the founder of, and by the way, that's what it actually, do you know that's what it actually says online? I typed in Google, the founder of Jeep Beach, and it had Charlene Greer.
And you
I know
trust Google always.
Well,
I'm actually the CEO. Thank you so much for having me on. I am the CEO of Jeep Beach. I actually formulated Jeep Beach Incorporated. So in a sense, I am the founder of Jeep Beach, the nonprofit. I am not the founder of Jeep Beach, the event. So there's the clarification.
Gotcha. Well, and there are so many Jeep Beach Facebook pages and all kinds of different things that, you try to look for the official ones. We have those, and we're going to go ahead and put those links up so that people will know, okay, you need to go to this one, maybe not that one. But on the other side, there's so many events. What this has created, it's, and the thing is, we've had Bike Week and bike events. Not saying that they're not the same crowd, but they're not the same crowd. And a lot of what you guys have put together is more family friendly. I mean, there's just so much stuff that you put together. And by the way, I put a calendar, and we're going to show that. But it was 3 pages long. Man, you guys have an entire week.
It's a lot. You want to be my hype guy?
Well, we're doing that if it's for the nonprofit side. But even then, I was showing Chris here. We were right here before, and I said, "Wait till you see this." So we went to all of the different nonprofit groups that you guys support as a nonprofit group, and I mean, it was like, I don't know how many it is, but
staggering.
Yeah, I wasn't going to count
now. It's over 200 nonprofits that we've touched within mainly the Volusia County and Flagler County areas, but a lot through Central Florida now as we've been able to grow the brand and the event. It's been a lot of fun. It's been amazing to see the different lives that we touch. And actually, the Chiles Academy is one of our organizations that we that
That is so awesome.
That is awesome.
Yeah, and Abby and her team are amazing, amazing, amazing people doing amazing things for these women. We work with multiple organizations that support youth. And
and that's one of the things why I brought that up is, and like our show, we're here to promote nonprofit fundraisers, events, and activities in Volusia and Flagler County. Mm-hmm. But we're just like the promotions are. You actually, you finance, you pay the money, you help get these things started. And it takes money to make money. But you guys are, how much money would you say that you guys are putting into the community?
Well, that's an easy one. We hire an economic impact survey to be done at the end of every year of our event. Okay. And our event always falls the final week of April. So we're 10 days now. We've grown from a 4-day event to a 10-day event. We already we launch on April the 18th. April 18th through the 27th. And there's already a slew of Jeeps in the Daytona Volusia Flagler area, which is a lot of fun. I mean, locally, we're a very heavy Jeep concentrated area anyway. The state of Florida
per
is
capita, we'd have to be one of the highest.
So we have an amazing group of individuals. I call them my Jamly, which was the Freudian slip. I was recording with Johnny Nomad, our videographer, and I was trying to say my Jeep family, and it came out my Jeep Jamly, and I went with it. I said, I like that. And so my Jamly stuck, and these people truly are my Jamly. And since 2012, we have put $5 million back into the community through charitable giving. And
$5 million
since 2012. Wow. And in 2024, our total economic impact to the community was $499 million.
That's impressive.
Well, when I first saw it, I was just happened to be going up A1A, and it was like, what in the heck is this? And I didn't even realize they were all Jeeps until I was like, after like the first mile. And then I'm like, well, what is the deal? And then it just kept going on and on and on. And I thought, man, and then I figured out that there was actually a structure to it. And, but I'm so glad that the structure was done the way that you did it. To not just be a bunch of greedy people who, stole an idea or you know what I mean? It can be done, and other people have done it.
Well, and that's how Jeep Beach Incorporated was formed. I've got to give huge kudos and shout outs to Mid-Florida Jeep Club, who is actually the Jeep Club that started Jeep Beach back in 2003. And by 2017, we really started growing the event to not quite, well, definitely not what it is right now. But there just was not. It was a club event, and it was great people doing great things, but we needed to give it more of a business platform in order to be able to capitalize on the potential that we had with the brand and the marketing and the event.
There were businesses coming to you going, hey, we want to talk to these Jeep people.
Well, and what's fun is that we formulated the nonprofit in October of 2017. 2018 was the first event underneath my leadership. And with that, we started giving it business structure. We formulated our board of directors, of course, gave it business structure, marketing. I love marketing, and I might know a thing or two about that. And but I've also worked in the nonprofit world, and my background is very much from a philanthropic timeline. I always like to say 20 years. My husband reminds me it's more like 30 years now. And so I'm like, you're just telling my age, which is fine. I'm proud. But so then we just started building the brand. Johnny Nomad actually grabbed a hold of this with me years ago and said, you need to be the face because you're the one with the voice, the passion, and the vision for who we can become. I honestly went kicking and screaming into that. I did not want to be on camera. I did not want to do the public facing. I'm really good at making things happen for really good reasons. And he said, but you need to express the passion to what it is you're doing. So here we are. I became the face. I was thrown in the camera, in front of the camera, I should say, at 5 a.m. years ago in 2018. And they said, Dunn, you're it. You're the spokesperson. And so that happened literally not to my druthers, in other words. So, but now
a reluctant role, but you're doing pretty good at it.
Yeah. Well, and I love what I do now, and the Jeep community and the people that I get to call my Jamly make it very easy to be the voice, because I hate talking about myself. I understand there's a time and place for that, but when I get to see a group of 500 volunteers, because again, Jeep Beach, people do forget that we're a nonprofit because we are so large. But when I get to tell people that Jeep Beach Incorporated only has 2 paid employees, and it's myself and my assistant, everyone else is volunteer. So this
I did not know that.
yeah,
Really?
2 people on payroll. That's it. Everyone else is a volunteer to this event.
You coordinate all those events, all of the
all
shifts,
of that.
all of everything.
And why? Because the Jeep community and these people understand, and what we've been able to communicate is that without the nonprofits in our communities, and it doesn't matter what community you're in, whether you're Flagler, Volusia, East, West, we bring in all 50 states and 36 countries. We have people come from all over the globe, and every community has a need through a nonprofit, whether it's the Chiles Academy, our medical staff, our veterans, mental health, environmental issues, all of those things. Without these nonprofits, think about the resources in our communities that we would be lacking and we would be missing. So my responsibility and the gift that I've been given, and I lead by faith. So I don't force my faith on anyone, but I definitely lead by my faith. And my calling, my passion is to take care of those that take care of us. And all of these nonprofits take care of our community, whether it's an elderly through the Council on Aging, whether it's our children through the Boys and Girls Club, Easter Seals, Childhood Cancer Foundation, the J Fund, it goes on. And then you shift to the law enforcement and first responders platforms that we're able to support. And then our veterans, active military and veterans, and the impact that we get to make through their lives, helping them, integrate back into society. And after coming off of a special ops team, or whether it's PTSD that we're dealing with, and just mental health as a whole. So that is a huge, that's the only reason why Jeep Beach exists, is to serve other nonprofits in the community. And I always say that when we stop serving that mission, then this girl's gone. Because we got to take care of it.
Well, I hope it's not real soon, because you're doing a great job in that spokesperson role. By the way, I love those cat eye glasses that you have on.
My nickname, actually, you know what? My nickname is Sparkles. And I'll tell you where Sparkles came from. It came through Bikers Against Child Abuse. There's a big organization here in our communities called, and they're absolutely.
Isn't the guy's name Glenn out of Deland?
Yes. Snake and Gitchen and Skull, and they had all these biker names.
They're bikers.
Yeah. And when we gave a donation to them, and we were able to present a donation to that organization, just the empowerment that they give these children that are going through domestic abuse situations, that may be mortified and scared to even walk out of the door or to go to school. And these big old bikers with these really cool names escort kids to school, or to, if they end up and have to do a deposition or whatnot, they're always empowered by these bikers. So I told the group, I was like, well, if I'm going to be part of Bikers Against Child Abuse, I need a biker name. They gave me the nickname Sparkles.
I think makes you feel real rough, right?
Like, what happened to Skull or Bones or, Snake? And he said, Charlene, you know what made me, and so I embraced the nickname Sparkles. My biker name is Sparkles, and I embraced it because actually Witchin, she looked at me and she said, I have to tell you, every organization needs someone to shine for them to tell the story, and you're it. Yeah. You're the common factor that all of these organizations, because I sing the praises of these people, they're the ones in the trenches. Yeah. I have a hard job of figuring out how to raise the funds and how to do what we do. But
do you dispense them, or do you have a board that's in charge?
We have a board that designates. We open up a request for funding link, and we, all of the validation points have to be be met and all the criteria
Right.
for our donations. And then and of course that doesn't happen till post event time. So once we know how much
Sure.
we've got to give, then we start designating our donations. And so I thought, you know what, if there needs to be a voice about what these nonprofits do in our community, then I'm very humbled and honored to be able to be the voice, not just for our own nonprofit, because we are not promoters. We are not a for-profit. We are literally a bunch of great, crazy Jeepers that I call my Jamly once again. And we do this event to make a huge impact in the community. And I am beyond honored to be able to be the voice and tell all the stories.
Well, most people have no idea that that is the case. I mean, up until now, I really had, I believed it was a for-profit entity that, but you guys are doing amazing. So tell me how then the relationship with the Speedway then kind of changed what you guys were doing.
So the Daytona International Speedway and NASCAR, we needed to grow. We needed space. And so we moved the event to the property in a very small footprint outside the high banks on Speedway property, but not in the infield. And as I began to give it some marketing legs and we started truly building the brand known as Jeep Beach now, we escalated in numbers. It was exponential growth, almost to the point that it killed us all. But it did. We're still standing. But there were days where we felt like, oh my God, what have we done? But what we've done is we truly have, we're continuing to maximize the giving power of what we do. And so the Speedway said, what we have is yours. And so we just formulated a partnership with them. And actually this morning I was with our ops team and the staff at Daytona International Speedway. I cannot speak more highly of. The France family I'm fortunate enough to know them, and their support of what we do is tremendous. And then of course, Frank Kelleher is our current track president. He and I have great conversations. So it's really, we're able to connect dots in the community that not everyone connects.
Well, and they support so many different events and activities that bring more recognition, fill more hotel rooms. And this isn't just, think about when the Memorial Weekend, when they do that, what is it, Rockin' Beach or
Rockville, and it's actually we actually partner with Danny Wimmer Presents and the Rockville team. We do a lot of cross promotions with Rockville, and that's
I need to talk to you about that too.
It's a lot of fun. And so, we have our own radio station. One of the ways we tell the story is we do have Jeep Beach Radio, JBR, the voice of Jeep Beach Nation. We also have our Jeep Beach News and Views podcast. And we also have an education series because the Jeep community is expanding rapidly. And a lot of people that may have been bikers or they're in their golden years, if you will. And then you live in Florida, no better way to put your top down, doors off, and go embrace the Florida lifestyle in your Jeep. And so,
and go meet other Jeepers.
Exactly. And so to be able to do that and have these platforms, to educate people about the Jeep community, we formulated the Jeep Beach Off-Road Toolbox, and we have two incredible hosts that run that podcast and that education series for us. It's just truly amazing. And with the support of all of our sponsors here locally, of course, Daytona Dodge, Daytona DDCJR, Daytona Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. I have to do it in order.
Whatever it is, Wendy Dye's stroking the check.
Dealership. But you know what? It's really cool. Even though we have Daytona Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram as our title sponsor, we work well with the Flagler dealership. We work well with the New Smyrna, because we move a lot of Jeeps in the months of March, April, and May, just a few.
This area, again, per capita, this area has to, I mean, almost lead the country.
It's
I mean,
saturated
it
for
would
sure.
be
We don't lead the country, but we're up there. We rank up there high for sure.
So I have to ask,
Yes.
was this the original vision when Jeep Beach started? I know you're not the founder of the Jeep Beach, the event, but was this the original vision? Did you guys foresee this growing into what it has become today? Or was this just some kind of like happy surprise that you've grown to this scale?
I knew that we could build this. Okay. And I love that you asked that question. Has it surpassed anything I could imagine? Absolutely. Absolutely. And this is what I tell people. You hate to use the word cult, which is why I like to use the word jamly, because it is about embracing and connecting. And what, the duck thing, and I know the duck question will likely come up. I am not a ducker myself. Okay. Be completely transparent. I loved it when it came out during COVID, the Duck Duck Jeep. And the young lady, Allison, that started that entire initiative, she unfortunately has passed and left us, but her legacy lives on because these ducks, Duck Duck Jeep, is such an iconic part of the Jeep community. And what she did during COVID is what we had started. Yep, here's my ducks. Oh, look, here's my sparkle duck.
Oh, you got a sparkle duck.
I love it.
So Sparkle has a duck. And so it's just really quite amazing to see that people embraced the mission and they connected. Human connection was something that we all missed during the COVID years. Right. And it's important to connect with people. Virtually, it's great. We still get to see each other. Yeah. And it was a tool that we were able to use while we were not in person connecting. Right. But that connection with people is key. And so when, again, through my faith, I was commissioned to do this, if you will, because again, went screaming into it, going, what have I done? But what we've done is we truly have shown that there is still so much good in this world. And the people that are known as Jeepers and the Jamly and Jeep Beach Nation, these people would stop the world from spinning for you if they could. And to me, that is everything. And that is a story worth telling. So we'll continue to grow it and make great things happen, because great people doing great things will always outshine the negativity that we get so bombarded with so often.
Yeah.
I started doing service when I lived down in the Keys. I ended up on all of these different boards of directors, but it was mostly hands off. And I moved to Daytona and got involved in the Kiwanis. And let me tell you, that's right in the trenches.
Yes, it is. It is. And you know what I love, I'm sorry, Kelly, that I interrupted there, but what I love is that we don't just write checks, because it's not always about the financial side of it. Yes, that's important, because you do have to have funding, but these people are people, the Jamly, the volunteers. Again, this event is 2 paid people and everybody else is volunteer. Okay. Over 500 volunteers giving us 7,500 cumulative hours in a 10-day period. They're taking time off work. They're taking vacation. They're using personal time. Some of them are taking time off of work without pay. The people come from all over the United States, and they give us a 4 or 8 hour shift to volunteer, just so, because they know that what we're doing is it's not just making an impact, it's truly saving lives. And it's quite unbelievable to see happen.
Well, it is so admirable, because, again, as I'm the lieutenant governor, so I have to go to all of the different clubs, and everybody thinks they're unique. And the sad part is there are just so many gaps that are still out there. We've got gaps in, education. We've got gaps in the social, I guess the actual kids not having a place to stay and not having enough food to eat.
Yep.
So I love what you guys are doing.
Well, thank
and I'm
you.
so glad. But everybody, if you are watching, we're going to put the link to where you can find out how many organizations that are helped and assisted by Jeep Beach, and all of this is coming up, and most of the events will have some way that you can donate.
Absolutely.
So,
and I was going to say that if you don't mind me doing a shameless plug, because I am not ashamed of
please.
We actually work very closely with Jeep Corporate, with the brand Jeep itself, to the extent that they actually produce Jeep Beach Edition Jeeps in the assembly line right off the from the factory. And we were a first time for that. They had never done this for an organization or an event. And I'm just tenacious enough to believe in what we're doing, so much so, and with the support of Randy Dye down at Daytona Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram, that they finally said, you know what, we're going to do this. And they couldn't keep them on the showroom floors. The Jeep Beach editions went out rapidly. So we give away a Jeep every single year. This year is very, very unique. Awesome. In that the Jeep we are giving away is a one of one. It is $102,585 sticker price on it. Someone very lucky and fortunate on April 27th is going to win that. And we cap the ticket sales at 7,500. So our goal annually is to sell all 7,500 tickets, which at $50 donation. And It is a drawing. We have it audited. It's all on our website. And that's immediately $375,000 for charity if we move all 7,500. So if you've been wanting to be a Jeeper, or you're already a Jeeper and you want a 392 really go fast Jeep, I mean, it's crazy. It's got a big block 392 engine in it. It's unbelievable. It's a big boy. It's a big boy, and it's super awesome.
I may have to jump on that website.
You need to. Jeepbeach.com, literally a $50 donation for charity, and it takes one ticket, right? And in this, between Volusia and Flagler counties, you can't tell me that we can't move. Plus all the people that come into Daytona Beach for our event time, that we can't raise that money by moving these $50 tickets. What's the worst case scenario? You helped charity. You made a $50 charitable contribution. But what if we pull that poker chip out and it's your number on there? You just won yourself a beautiful Jeep, which, by the way, this year the board of directors has decided to pay the sales tax. Now, it is a drawing in sweepstakes, but the winner this year does not even have to pay the sales tax. You still have to pay registration and title and tags and all of that, which is a few $100s. I can't imagine it's much more than that. And then there is a sweepstakes winning that you have till next April 15th to pay.
Right.
But you don't have to settle up with the IRS. Plenty of time to figure that out. But Jeep Beach Incorporated is paying the sales tax on the vehicle this year. So,
well, a one of one. I mean, the minute that you basically sign the contract, there'll be somebody going, "Hey, I want that."
Yep, very much so.
Well, hey, listen. Before we get going, though, I would like to just kind of run through your schedule of events so we can, what are the ones that you really think people don't miss this one?
Any of them.
Not that they shouldn't go to all of them.
That's what I was going to say. And here's the other great thing about this schedule. Anything that's out in the community, this full schedule of events, it is available and open to everyone, not just Jeepers. You don't even have to have a registration to come. The only time you need to have that registration really is to take advantage of some of the upper level experiences on these nightly events. But then the main event in the Speedway on Friday, April 25th and Saturday, April 26th. That's where you've got to have your ticket and your registrations. But all these other events leading up to the 25th and 26th, they're free. They're open to the public. We want the public to come out and support us and see. We've got everything from Jeep stuff to non-Jeep stuff. It's just, you got to get out there and see us.
So you're Jeep themed, but you're agnostic on enforcing against anybody else.
Honey, we always say during Jeep Beach week and when we're here, and it's really 10 days, but when it's Jeep Beach time in Volusia and Flagler, every vehicle identifies as a Jeep.
Nice. And we do, man. I'll drive around and I look and I'm like,
Fun.
man, I wish I had one.
The Jeep wave is a real thing.
So we've got on that Monday, obviously everybody goes and now
When we
it
go
says
back
here
to the 18th, let's start this Friday, or next Friday,
Okay.
I should say, April 18th. We have a March to Stop Suicide, which is supporting our Navy SEAL Special Ops teams, as well as Daniel Dye's Race to Stop Suicide. And that starts on Good Friday morning, April 18th at the Daytona International Speedway. And huge shout out to the sponsors that sponsored this event this year. They've provided the opportunity for the public to come out and walk the International Speedway. It's called the March to Stop Suicide for $9.88. I can promise you there's no other time you're walking the Daytona International
you mean they get to be on the track?
$9.88 on the track. The reason $9.88 is because that is the suicide prevention hotline. And so we march for 98 minutes, 8 seconds. The public is welcome to go on our website, sign up, pay $9.88 donation, and those funds go back into helping us with the Navy SEAL. It's called Beyond the Brotherhood, as well as the Race to Stop Suicide. So that's what kicks the entire week off. And then Friday night we have
that's great.
Yeah, Friday night we have a 5K on the beach down in front of the Hard Rock, which is the official hotel of Jeep Beach. Then Saturday, we have a big event up at Teddy Morris's destination, Daytona, with Trey Pierce and the T-Stones playing. Incredible band. A lot of fun. The giveaway Jeep will be there. We have raffles. We have a kids club. We have a huge kids club. Our radio station, Jeep Beach Radio, is there DJing and throwing out promos. Sunday is Easter, and we're taking off. Everybody go enjoy the beach. You're here for the beach.
Exactly.
Go enjoy Easter Sunday on the beach. Then Monday, a lot of things start happening, but we bring Hayfire in on Monday night. We bring
Well, I was going to ask, though, it says registration opens. Do people have to, I mean, is that recommended that they come and register?
They need to. If they're in a Jeep, they absolutely, and they want to drive their Jeep or their vehicle, because inside registration is Jeep only. So even your other vehicle may identify as a Jeep, it's got to park on the outside. You can still come in. You can still come into the event, but the non-Jeeps park on the outside. And then to drive your Jeep into the infield. And that gate 70 registration that opens on Monday morning, that's for people that may need any information. We have merchandise set up. We have the One Blood buses are out there doing a blood drive. We have DJs out there. We have sponsors, just everything. Our kids club, you can sign your kids up for our kids club. It's just a multitude, and magnitude is huge. So,
well, there's also, it says here, a poker run, a classic Jeep poker run.
That's for our classic Jeepers.
And then that night or that evening at the Speedway is the Jeep Beach and Boots Salute to Our Heroes.
Honoring all of our heroes, whether they're military, law enforcement, first responders, doctors, teachers. Think about the heroes that you live next to. I mean, it's amazing who our heroes are. So
I love you guys for doing that. That is just so cool, man.
So put your cowboy boots on, put your hat on, come out, dance to Hayfire. They're a lot of fun. We have fireworks that night. So
wow!
Fireworks, right?
Say that. That's a bonus.
Yes,
you guys,
bonus. And it doesn't cost you a penny to come. Doesn't cost you a penny to come to that. Doesn't cost you a penny to come to that event.
The music, the entertainment, get to see all of the Jeeps, the fireworks. Man, that is, I love that you guys are doing this. Now, real quick though, I did see several times it had a scavenger hunt. And it says all day, but I don't know what happens with that.
You'll start seeing when the scavenger hunt opens. One of the very important things is, we can throw that big number, $499 million that we generated in economic impact, which is impressive, huge. I'm very proud of it. Very grateful for that because I understand the impact that made to our neighbors that own local businesses and the hotels and restaurants.
Mhm.
So we started a series of Jeep Beach rated partners. We have Jeep Beach rated hotels, and Jeep Beach rated being the iconic Jeep Beach or Jeep badge. It's a trail badge,
Right.
and it's trail rated. And so we just called it Jeep Beach rated now. So took a fun, iconic Jeep slogan, trail rated, and turned it into Jeep Beach rated. We have Jeep Beach rated hotels, Jeep Beach rated restaurants, Jeep Beach rated adventure partners, Jeep Beach rated community partners. And our scavenger hunt puts people out in the community, embracing the community, all the beautiful, amazing spots that we have here in Volusia and Flagler County. And it exposes them to things that they might not otherwise have known, and little nooks and crannies, like our restaurants, for instance. There's a whole restaurant passport, and it's all app driven. We don't have the link up because they're crossing T's and dotting I's right now. The team is. And as soon as the scavenger hunt is ready to open, the link will go up on our schedule. You download this app, and everything is right there, and it earns you raffle tickets. So you can earn raffle prizes just from going and visiting these locations.
So there's incentive to go to all of these different places.
Yeah, it's super fun. It's super cool. But like our restaurants, it's Jeep Beach rated restaurants where the locals eat. I'm not sending somebody where I wouldn't want to go eat myself. You know?
I love that.
It's Jeep Beach rated hotels. These hotels are giving us room blocks, and they're giving money back to charity. So when people stay in our Jeep Beach rated hotels, when you put your head down at night, part of your room rate is going back to the charity. Our Jeep Beach community partners, it's where the community comes together. This is insurance companies, pool companies, you name it. Our Jeep Beach adventure partners, giving a kickback to the charities through when if you go parasailing, if you go play a round of golf. So it's really neat.
It sounds like they're going even beyond that. It's, I've been reading here that you have almost every morning the coastal cleanup at the Hard Rock Cafe.
We do.
So
that's another, we want to leave the community better than we found it. This is where I live, work, and play. My mom is here. My grandbabies are here. My children are here. My friends are here. My family is here. So this is my hometown. And so keep it better than what you found, than what we found it. And so, or leave it better than what we found it. So we give these recyclable bags out, and we just encourage people when they're out in the community, whether they're on the sand or in a parking lot and they see garbage, pick it up, put it in that bag, go dump it. It's on the scavenger hunt also. Go dump it in one of our Waste Pro, another huge partner of ours. Go dump it in one of their dumpsters that we have identified, and that will earn you raffle tickets. So it's truly just phenomenal.
Really? Oh, okay. So incentive based. I love it.
Clean up as community.
So then I was looking, and I see track laps. I see classic Jeep track laps, and then I see VVIP track laps.
We've got everything. You can put your Jeep on the Daytona International Speedway for a parade lap. If you register for the event, you do have to be registered for the event to take advantage of that. And it's $100 registration and then a $50 add-on, but you drive your Jeep. You drive it. I don't. A professional driver doesn't. And you follow the parade. It's that we have a pace Jeep, I should say. And you drive the apron of the Daytona International Speedway in your Jeep.
Man,
you get a picture of your Jeep crossing the start-finish line. Who in a million years would have ever thought you'd get the checkered flag in a Jeep?
I mean, can you imagine? That's like unbelievable. Okay, then this is all still on Tuesday. We have Jeep Beach Island Time.
So one of our programs on Jeep Beach Radio on JBR is Sunday Reggae Sunday. I love Reggae Sunday. I love reggae. I love all music. So we have Island Time show on Sunday mornings. And so Brothers Within are playing for us on Tuesday night at One Daytona. Again, that event is free and open to the public.
I love it. And I love reggae at any time.
Me too.
And now, you guys, I'm looking here, and you guys have a relationship at the Florida Cracker Ranch.
We do.
You're
We
going to have
do.
some opportunities.
Yep. So
next week.
if you are a registered Jeep and you've registered your Jeep and you've paid your $100 registration fee, just like the track laps, that is an add-on. Sure. It's a $50 add-on, and you get to spend 2 days out we don't have rocks and mountains and things to climb. We play on the dusty trails and in the mud. That's what we do in Florida. And so our participants get to go out and wheel Florida style.
So we're talking bogging and everything, huh?
Yep, a lot of fun.
Hey, that's four-wheel drive in Florida. That's about all you got.
Yep.
Okay, and then let's.
It just goes on and on. Wednesday night, Wednesday and Thursday, we have Jeeps at the Rock as well as the Florida, the off-road experience at Cracker Ranch. But Jeeps at the Rock, the Navy SEALs are down there. There's a big tug of war competition. There's a surf shop set up on the Avalon deck at Hard Rock Hotel, Daytona Beach. There's just so many fun things. Thursday, there's a special surprise from the Navy SEAL team. So not only are they going to be playing tug of war with all of you guys that may think you can beat the SEAL team, but they're going to be doing a special demonstration surprise for everyone on Thursday, which is going to be really cool. And then Wednesday night, we have Neon Nights, which is amazing. You cannot believe the sound systems that these people put in their Jeeps. There's an entire demographic of the Jeep community that is all about the sound world. And they are truly $200,000 vehicles that are built. They're rolling DJ booths. It's the craziest thing you've ever seen. I love these people because they're crazier than I am. And I'm pretty self-proclaimed crazy. But these people build these Jeeps to be truly sound machines. And it is unbelievable to see. So dress in your 80s clothes, get your neon out and come on out. It is super fun.
Well, that's definitely one that we're going to have to be at.
Yeah.
Now, Friday, is that pretty much exclusively, and this would be the last Friday.
Weekend. That is the main event weekend, what we call Jeep Beach main event. And that is when we open the infield of the Daytona International Speedway to everyone. In order to drive inside, you have to be in a Jeep and you have to be registered. If you are not a Jeep owner and you live in the community and you want to come out and see what all of this craziness is about, you can buy a spectator ticket. You park at turn 1 on the outside of the Speedway, but on Speedway property. It's $20 per vehicle to park and then $20 per person to come in. You walk right through the wall. We blow out the gates on the racetrack wall. You walk right in. Very similar to Turkey Rod, and we have over 200 vendors that set up on the track surface. We are literally on the race surface, 200 plus vendors. I think it's 220 something now. And we build a big, giant obstacle course, over 300 loads of dirt, several, I don't even know how many truckloads of sand, rock, culverts, and we build an obstacle course on that beautiful grass inside the Daytona that we call the ball field at Daytona International Speedway, right at the start finish line. You can sit in the grandstands on the lower level and watch the Jeeps go across the obstacle course. I mean, we just have all kinds of crazy experiences for people, but it is too open to the public, and it's a $20 ticket. So it's very family friendly. And then, like I said, then $20 per vehicle to park.
Per person to get out there.
So we sell a 2-day spectator pass as well for $35. So try to save you a little bit of money.
Save you a little bit.
$5 is $5, right?
Hey, a penny saved is a penny earned.
That's right.
Okay, and then now a Bloody Mary party at 8:00 or at 6:00 in the morning.
So and this truly is world famous. Johnny Nomad puts his drone in the air. He has cameras on the ground and drones in the air. And please, everybody, drones are not allowed at the Speedway or at any of our events. Johnny is licensed, insured, and all the things. So if we see your drone up, we will bring it down. We won't shoot it down, but we'll bring it down and confiscate it till the end of the event. But Johnny gives everyone a bird eye view of over 14,000 Jeeps on the beach in the sand at one time on our final Sunday morning. And that's the lasting memory that everyone goes home to, is this massive parade. And Krabby's Oceanside is our official seafood restaurant of Jeep Beach. And they do a big breakfast. They do an amazing Bloody Mary bar. If you're not in a Jeep and you're not part of the parade, you just walk, you're right there in front of Krabby's. You got everything you need, and you just watch literally over 14,000 Jeeps parade on the beach.
It's amazing how nonprofits can raise money when they throw out Bloody Mary. I used to do a golf tournament, and man, I'll tell you, that Bloody Mary party at the beginning, that was
when you're drinking for a cause, none of the calories, none of the content, none of that counts, because it's cocktailing for a cause.
Absolutely. Well, and now you're speaking my language. That's for sure. Well, Charlene, we absolutely wanted to get you out here. Mostly, just hear it straight from the source.
Thank you.
There's so many people that, they have this idea and they have that idea, but nobody, I learned so much today about this wonderful event, and anything else that we can do, we will be happy to do that for you. We want to share. My partner, I know, is itching to get some footage of some of the different events.
We'll get you out here. Media, you know what? I'm glad that you brought that up. So we had over 600 media outlets cover Jeep Beach last year.
Wow.
And because, again, we're international. So media outlets from all over the globe come. And it's to get your media credentials. It's as easy as emailing media@jeepbeach.com. Our media team will validate it, and then they will be able to accept. Yeah.
There's a form right on the website.
There's a form right on the website. Johnny Nomad is in here with me. He handles all of that. Yeah. Just go to jeepbeach.com, look at media, search media. You'll see the media link, and there is a media form that you fill out. He'll get that email, and then he'll let you know that you've been approved and how to secure your credentials. So any of our media outlets, and again, for the community, this is about you. This is not about Jeep Beach. It's most definitely not about Charlene. If it was about Charlene, I'd be on a boat with a fishing pole. I'm a self-proclaimed mermaid. But I understand the importance of what we do. And so we want the community to understand what we do and why we're here. Again, not promoters, not a for-profit. We are a true IRS federally designated 501c3, and we exist literally to raise money to give it away to take care of this community.
That's the most beautiful thing in the world.
Well, thank you.
Charlene,
help us tell that story and remind the community why we have a little bit of a escalation of Jeeps for 10 days.
And there is no doubt, but even that, they're so cool. I mean, these aren't just, there's not just the CJ7. Well, actually, some of those are even cool.
They're amazing. The classic Jeeps are amazing. That's where we came from. Don't forget where you came from ever. That's why we have. That's why we have such we've had volunteers step up and start forming this classic Jeep division of Jeep Beach, because that truly is since 1941. That's one of the slogans of the Jeep brand. And, it all started with the military Jeep during the war. And so since 1941.
Motor Vehicle Company.
Yeah. Pretty impressive.
The Willies.
Yes, you got it.
I have a watercolor that was commissioned by the board of directors from the Overland Motor Vehicle Company. I think that's the original name of the Willies
OEM
company. So, so, hey, I may end up donating.
Hey, let me tell you, we have a big silent auction too, and that'll be going up on our website soon.
Oh, this one's actually, it's like a World War II where there's all these Jeeps and stuff, but it just beautiful
awesome
stuff.
But if anybody wants to get involved, honestly, from a spectator position, a sponsor, a sponsor angle, or a donation for our silent auction to help us continue to escalate our fundraising, it's truly as easy as emailing info@jeepbeach.com or going to our website, jeepbeach.com, contacting us, reaching out, and I can promise you one of our over 500 volunteers will reach back out to you and say, hey, thanks for getting involved, and let's make good things happen.
And we'll put that link up across the screen so they can just click and go directly to you. Charlene, thank you so much for being here. It's just an absolute pleasure. We appreciate, if you don't hear it at all, it's a lot of work, and it is really appreciated throughout the entire community. It's you've given us a whole another realm of credibility besides, just bikers and NASCAR.
Well, thank you.
Love it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Everybody, make sure that you get out to Jeep Beach. You can't miss it. It's pretty much everywhere all across the city for 10 days. Make sure you enjoy it, and don't forget to make a donation and help them to help us. We've had a great show. Next week, we have the Daytona State College. Kristen will be out to tell us about their cork and fork promotion. And we're also going to do a little sampling with Chef Costa. So we'll see you then. Thanks for tuning in. Take care. Be nice to each other, and goodbye.